Hey everyone, and welcome to another video on our Mercedes Sprinter van conversion. In this video, we're finally going to get some fun stuff done. We're going to be getting the MaxxAir fan in, and we're going to be installing solar. So stay tuned. So as you're aware, we bought this Mercedes Sprinter van to convert about a month and a half ago. Since then, we've been doing quite a bit to it. We ran into loads of problems when we thought that we'd bought a perfectly straight van, only to discover that we had loads and loads of rot and rust that were hiding underneath. But we saw that as a positive, and since we wanted to paint the van anyway, we decided this was a good opportunity to fix all the rot, fix all the rust, and paint the van in the colour that we wanted to paint it in. So we painted it in RAF blue grey. So last time you saw us, we just finished painting the van. That was all great. There were some little things that needed to get done to it before we started doing, taking off the roof and all this. Let me show you what I've done so far. So all these things that we need to do were on the outside of the van, things that I'd taken off of my old van, Hamish, and was wanting to install them onto this. So, first thing we did, is I don't know if you can see it here, we installed our Fiamma F45S on the roof of our van. Now, getting this awning on the van was a bit of a pain. Let me go and turn the I've just started the van just because it's been sitting for a while and I wanted the battery charged. Let me turn this off and then I'll explain to you why this was a little bit of a pain. So the reason I kept the awning from the old van is because, as you guys know, Fiamma awnings are really expensive. Now, for my last van, I couldn't actually get brackets that would fit it to hold the van on, and I had to modify some motorhome brackets to make it fit. Thinking that there's no way that they're not going to have Mercedes Sprinter ones. And I was right. They did have Mercedes Sprinter brackets, just not for a Fiamma F45S. What? Because a Fiamma F45S is quite a small awning, and it's meant for T4s and T5s. But we were lucky, they did have a multi-kit, which was a bit of a pain, to tell you the truth. But let me go and I'll show you what they look like. So I don't know if you can see them, they look like little triangles on the back, but they bolt directly into the roof of the van. That allows you to mount your Fiamma on it. And these work fine. We also mounted my ladder that I took off of the old van as well, which was actually meant for this van. So the brackets and everything that came with it were for a Mercedes Sprinter or a Volkswagen Crafter. But I took them off of my LT35 and brought it for here. Now, after we painted the van, obviously we still had some things that were still needing to be on. We still had handles that needed to be put on. We still had marker lights that needed to be put on. So you'll be happy to see that we have now installed all brand new handles onto the van, all the way around. And we've also gone and got some nice marker lights that go on this as well. Now, I know they look white, but they actually light up orange, or amber, so they light up perfectly. With having the awning up, we also needed to make sure, because we've got dogs, I wanted to make sure that I had the Fiamma mounts here on the side so that we can keep the legs out of the way. That way, when we've got the dogs tied up at the van or our campsite or something, they don't get tangled up in the legs all the time. But anyway, we've done all of that. I'll show you some of that later on in the video as well. I might get the awning open as well, especially if the sun comes out. Show you guys how it looks. It looks awesome, by the way.
That's what she said.
But today's video, we're finally going to be starting doing some work in the van, but on top of the van as well. I want to get this whole van sealed up before the winter comes and the bad weather comes. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Drill all the holes in my roof. Everything that's going on the roof of this van needs to get installed and cut so that I can, first I'm going to take this roof down so we can access everything, then cut all the holes, run the wires, and then I can insulate. So what's going on the roof? So solar panels, obviously, they're going to be going on the roof. We're going to have a MaxxAir Fan Deluxe like I had in my last fan as well, because that thing's just absolutely awesome. We're going to have, obviously, a gland for the solar panel wires to come through. And what I also want to install is I'm going to install a gland near the front where I'll be able to pull wires out for spotlights and things like that, but it will also be sealed. But I'll have, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like a conduit through it, which means that I can pull more wires through it later on. So if I need to put anything on my roof, like if I want to put CCTV, more lights or anything like that, I've got one place where I can pull wires through, and I don't have to worry about it not sealing or leaking or anything like that. Anyway, that's enough of me yapping. Let's get this roof off. So we need to get this off, these panels off the roof. Never taken them off before, haven't been able to find a video online to do it, but what I'm going to start with is taking these lights down. So we can get these lights down first. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them all the way along, and we've got some clips on the end there, and we're just going to try it. Let's get started on it. So that's all the lights off. All the wires hanging down as they're supposed to do. There's a few clips here at the back, which I think are holding this back piece off. So let's get these plastic bits off and see what happens. I'm going to have to crack out my new tools to do this. Let's try. So they're not just normal clips, you've got to pull this little bit out first to release it, then they all come out. That should make it a little bit easier. Hope you're enjoying the van build so far. Honestly, we're blown away by all the support, so thank you. If you're enjoying it, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and drop a comment. I do read them all and try to reply, and don't go anywhere, because next episode we're diving into the interior build, and that's when the van really starts to become alive. So that didn't take very long. Oh god, it's echoing now. Now that I've taken all this down, it's actually echoing. But that is all of the roof down, as you can see here, which then gives us a clear view of what we're working on. So one reason I wanted to take all of this down is because winter is coming. Yes, winter is coming, and in Scotland the winters here are pretty harsh. You get very, very few days where it's not raining. So I want to be able to cut all the holes, especially here. This hole here is probably where my MaxxAir fan is going to go, and I'm going to drill in all of my solar panels on the roof. And I've got 3 Renogy 175 watt solar panels that are going in on the roof. I've got glands that are going in, I've got glands elsewhere, and I want to get them all cut into the roof, situated, sealed up, and then it also means I can come in and I can seal them from the inside as well. So while I'm waiting for the MaxxAir fan to arrive and the solar panels, I'm going to go in online just now and order carpet for this liner. So next time I see you, we should have everything here, and we're getting started on the install. See you in a bit.
I'll be right back.
So it's a few days later, we ordered everything up and our stuff has finally arrived. Well, most of it. One of the solar panels has arrived from Renogy, and we're still waiting for another 2, which we should be arriving today. But the big thing that arrived was our fan that's going on the roof. Now I said I was going for a MaxxAir fan, which is what the plan was, so actually we go for a MaxxAir fan. But I tried to buy it from a few places and everyone was out of stock. So I started looking online to see for an alternative, and this one seems to be not as good but better reviews in some places. Let me show you what I got. So this is the brand new Air Plus Deluxe from Nomadic, and it looks very much like a MaxxAir Fan Deluxe, but a little bit more streamlined. So it's more streamlined, it's a little bit, sits a little bit closer, it still opens up, it's still waterproof, you can still use it while you're driving. The only difference is this bottom bit comes built in with a black outline. It's got a digital controller here that you can touchscreen, and it has built-in LEDs all the way around as standard. The adapter base that goes on the roof might look quite familiar for those who've used MaxxAir fans before, because it's exactly the same thing. It comes in exactly the same sizes, so it fit. If you've already got a MaxxAir fan on your roof and you need to replace it for whatever reason, this would fit directly into it without any changes. Now, for that, you know, looking at it, I thought, my gosh, it's got lights, it's got LED, and it's got the remote control. And the good thing about the remote control is, you guys will know with the MaxxAir fan, when you've got the remote control, you've got to point it at the MaxxAir fan for it to work. With this remote control, you don't need to. You could be sitting on your bed and have it on the wall and just press on and off, and it links somehow, I don't know how, and it just turns off. You do not need to point it at the fan.
I did.
Yeah, I get it. I know how it works, okay?
And believe it or not, it's actually cheaper than the MaxxAir Fan Deluxe. MaxxAir Fan Deluxes are coming in on offer at the moment for around £299, £300. This is on, I don't even think it's on offer. It's coming up at £250, which is a £50 saving, and you get more. Well, to me, that's a no-brainer.
And it's a bargain.
So weather's not great, but I'm gonna risk it. I've got my adapter, I've built my frame, which I hope fits perfectly. So let's start cutting some holes in this van. So we started off by putting up our wooden frame, drawing around it so we have a perfect mark of where we need to cut. Obviously, ideally you want to be doing this on the roof, but due to the weather, and as I said, I've got a serious fear of heights, I try to do everything inside the van. But I would recommend, if you can get on top, it's easier to do it on top. Cut a few holes in there so I could try and get the grinder in it, but that didn't work, so put a new 3 holes in it. Then we started with the jigsaw. That seemed to work perfectly.
We share our hopes and dreams, nothing less.
Here's Johnny.
And there we go. A nice big hole cut in the roof of my van. Let's get this masticed up all the way around, ready to put the bracket on. Back in a minute. And the plastic fits in it absolutely perfectly. Snug as anything. I've cut it a little bit smaller so then I could just trim around it. But yeah, that fits absolutely perfectly inside it now. Now, let's take this down, because I've just got to go and hammer out these freshly cut edges. Then we can get up on the roof, get this installed permanently. See you in a minute. So here we are now, applying the mastic to the top, making sure we're going around and we're overlapping at every single corner. The reason we put the mastic in is to build up the gaps in between the ribs so that the gasket will sit properly. Usually it's better to be on the roof to actually do this, but due to the weather and my fear of heights, I thought it was easier just to do it through this hole. Right, so it started to pour down with rain, so I had to get my friend Nick to come and help me do it. So we didn't film all of it as it was going in, but it's in now. Have a look at this. So that is it now. Fully installed. In there as well. I have rigged up my Delta 3 equal flow with the 12-volt wire. It's come up here just so that we can test it out, but have a look at this. Switch it to in, so it's blowing air in. It's so quiet. I've only got it on 30%, but you can definitely feel the air coming in. Let's get it up to, that's 40, 50, 60. Now on 100%, obviously you can hear it, but you could do that on the when you had the MaxxAir fan as well. Actually that seems to be blowing a little bit more than the MaxxAir fan. But to tell you the truth, I never had my MaxxAir fan on more than 30. You can barely hear it at all. Good thing with this as well, it's all touchscreen, so I can touch that. It's got the built-in LEDs. These do come with diffusers with it. Oops, just turned it off. But I haven't put the diffusers on because the diffusers are actually where you screw in into the board above. And because this is only here temporary until I put the roof up, I'm not going to put the diffusers on there just in case I break them. But yeah, it's got the manual open and closing here, and it does come with the remote, just like the MaxxAir Fan Deluxe. Now, the one thing that this does do that the MaxxAir Fan Deluxe doesn't do is that with the remote control you had to physically point it at that for it to turn on. So if I point this, it turns on, which is brilliant. It has open and close, lights, everything. There's the lights on again, lights off. But this, you don't actually need to point it at it. So I could just point this over here, like now I'm pointing it away from it. It turns it off. And again, perfect. Opens and closes. Is it any better than the MaxxAir fan? Only time will tell. For me at the moment, it seems brilliant. It's got the touchscreen up there, it's got the lights built in, it's got the shade in it as well. So let me show you the shade. There's the shade there. Blackout shade right there. All good. The other good thing about this is that I'm actually outside now. But look at this. I can activate it from outside with the remote control here. Press it again. There you go. So yeah, so far I'm liking this. The only way we'll know exactly if it's any better than the MaxxAir fan is if when we're driving with it on and when we're out camping. So once we get out and actually test it, we'll be able to tell you if it is as good or if better than the MaxxAir Fan Deluxe. So the next thing we need to do now in this van is get the solar panels and everything on. One's arrived, but I'm waiting for another two, which should be arriving today. So once they arrive, we'll get up and we'll get these solar panels on as well, and that'll be the final. Everything that needs to be drilled into this van, drilled into the van.
I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
So today's the final day of getting everything up on this roof. So the last part, sorry it's really windy, sorry if you can't hear me, but the last part of this is to get our Renogy solar panels installed on the roof. Now you probably see here, there's only two here, and I said I'm going for three. We are going for three, but unfortunately two have only showed up at the moment. The other one should be arriving in a day or two, but the weather's that nice today, and as you know, if you've ever been to Scotland, you'd get what you can done when the weather is this good. So we're going to get the two up today, we're going to get the glands up for them, we'll get them all wired in, and then when the third one arrives, I'll go at a later date when the weather's good, I'll get that last third one up. So let me show you which solar panels we've gone for. So we have gone for the Renogy 175 watt RSP 175 DC. Not sure if that makes any difference, but it's the same model as the last solar panels I had from Renogy, and they were absolutely fantastic, so it was a no-brainer for me to go back to Renogy. We're really lucky that we reached out to Renogy to see if they'd like to help us, and they sent us one of these solar panels for free, so thank you very much Renogy for that. And what I'll do is I'll stick a discount code below in the description for you guys, so you guys can go and have a look on their website and see what you can pick up at a nice discounted price. So enough of this waffling, let's get these solar panels ready, then we're going to get them up on the roof. See you in a minute.
2 hours later?
Right, so it's really, really windy, so I just had to get on with it. So we put the brackets on the solar panels, we've got them mounted up, I've drilled them all in. Let me show you what it looks like. So we've got 1, 2 panels in, third one's going to go here. We've already installed the gland as well. Run the wires to the 3-way adapter, because obviously I've got 3 panels and the 3 panels are going to be connected in parallel, so you could just buy this 3-way Y adapter that connects everything up together. Once the third one comes here, I'll be able to install this on this side, and that's that installed. So we've got the Air Plus Deluxe at the front, 1, 2, 3 solar panels, which gives a total of 525 watts going into our 280 amp hour eco-worthy lithium battery. Let me go down and show you what I'm going to do on the inside now. Right, so now inside the van, it's been raining for the last few days, so we can see here that there are absolutely no leaks coming through from the fan. There's actually, on the top of the roof there, there's actually a pool of water kind of sitting just about here, just before the fan. That's because the van's on a bit of a slant just now, so all the water's running up against where the fan is. But no leaks at all, completely bone dry. Now, you can see these screws coming through. These are from where I've just mounted the solar panels. So, there they are there as well. Over there, and there as well. So the way I mounted them is I mounted the brackets, put Sikaflex underneath all of the brackets, then I drilled through, put more Sikaflex on top of the screws, and now what I'm going to do, now that it's still all exposed, I'm going around the inside with this Gorilla waterproof coat and seal, which is like a liquid rubber coating, and I'm going to go over every single one of these holes that I've done. I've got the one at the back here. Oops, let me if I can get around the back. So I've got the one down here at the back as well, where the solar panel wires are coming through. I fill that hole as well. That way we can make sure that this van remains waterproof.
Its high fat content is creating a waterproof barrier.
On my last van I jumped the gun a wee bit and I put all the sealing up before I put all my stuff on the roof. And then about when it didn't leak a lot, but when it was really, really wet and the water was like sitting on the roof, it would find its way into places. So I wanted to do it this way so I can make sure that I have no fear of any water ever getting into this van. So I think we're really making some good progress with this van now. We're at the point where the next step is going to be start working on the interior. We've got all the exterior stuff done, now we can start the really fun stuff and kit this out on the inside. So solar power's on, fans are in, awning is on. I even managed to put my traction boards on the other side. I don't think I showed you that, but let me show you quickly. 1 second. So I mounted the traction boards on this side of the van here. So on the whole, we've done really quite a lot in the last couple of weeks. I'll give you a sneak peek on what the next part's going to be, because we're really starting on this interior now. So the original plan with this roof was I was going to just carpet the covers that came down from it and then just put it back up again, try and keep it as factory looking as possible. But after looking online and having a look at other people that have done the same thing, I don't think that's the route I want to go down. When I was looking at those pictures, it really didn't feel like a DIY camper van. It didn't feel like home. So what I'm going to do is bits that I can use to close in holes at the back wherever there's going to be plastic. I'm going to cut them up, put them in place. Then we're going to put the roof. We're going to clad it. So next video, as I said, we're starting on this. We're going to start insulation and we're going to start the cladding of the roof. This van is really starting to move now. We're going quite quickly with it. We want to try and get as much done as we can before the winter comes. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, drop a subscribe, drop a like, drop me a comment. It really helps out the channel, and I try to respond to everything I can. And I'll see you in the next one when we start the inside of this build. See you then.